Hi guys, welcome back once again. For those of you new here, hello and welcome. My name is Evie and today we are building a beautiful habitat for the beautiful big cats, the jaguars, that came in the South American DLC. Now I felt like those beautiful big bad boys would have had the rule of the roost in this environment. Compared to the capuchin monkeys, compared to the giant anteaters, compared to the llamas, who, although are sassy, would have been dinner for the jaguars. So I wanted to build these king of the said jungle, something large, something in charge, and something eye-catching, because I feel like they would have been cocky. They would have been like, we need the best of the best. We need the most in-demand place in this jungle, in this decrepit temple. So I decided to build a Colosseum style situation, like a big stadium, more or less just a big round wall. Maybe it was a giant water tank. Your imagination is all yours. You make it whatever you want to make it, and that's what it is. But whatever you have decided on, this is what the Jaguar is going to be in. It's got this beautiful round habitat, and I didn't want to manipulate the terrain too much around here. As you can see, it's highly sloped. It's very slopey. It's very high on the back. I think it actually comes past the big sphere. Sphere. Wow, I know my shapes. It's a cylinder, I promise. It is actually above the height of the wall, so you can see how steep of an decline, whichever way you want to look at it, there is. You can see here that I really want to use the steps that they gave in the temple kind of building stuff for the actual stairs. However, they did not match. So Frontier, Planet Zoo, if you happen to be listening, if you can add stairs that match the stairs in game so you can just slot them over the top, that'd be beautiful. Because instead I had to do this, which isn't that hard because there's not that many steps that I'm doing, but if I had to do a lot, it would have been painful. And I just feel like it looks better. It ties in with the rest of it. It works, okay? And I would have loved to have just used the actual stairs that were included, that are obviously just a scenery piece and not functional, which is fine. That's okay. But I wanted this to be bold and beautiful and really eye-catching. I wanted this to be the draw card for the entire zoo. Hence why it's placed at kind of the end of the zoo. You loop around from here back through the capuchin monkeys and you can go back down, or vice versa. So I wanted to include this really kind of eye-catching entry point to their habitat. I thought maybe I could just have it that they were kind of trapped in this cylinder and you just walk around the outside and see it, but I thought that it's not quite as large and in charge as I would like for it. So I decided to put an actual viewing area inside of the Jaguar habitat, and this is the entry to it, a nice big domed kind of archway that you walk through. It's not really domed, it's more of just an archway. Now, because I'm out of practice, the pathing for me is it was the hardest thing to get my head back around. Like, I knew there was some tips and tricks to do it, but it's still something that I just have to cross my fingers and my toes and hope for the best each time I'm doing it, because it does what it wants and I can't control the paths. Now, I know a lot of you guys would have watched the Capuchin Monkey episode last time and been like, this is actually ridiculous. Who is she? Who is Evie? Why would she not put a waterfall in the Capuchin Monkey habitat? This is outlandish. She loves waterfalls. And you're right, I do. So I put one in the Jaguar habitat instead because I don't think I could have gone another habitat without throwing in a waterfall, because they're so stunning. I fucking love waterfalls. If somebody looked me in the eyes and said to me, I don't actually like waterfalls, I think I could no longer trust them as a person. Like, how could you not like a waterfall? It's water. It's falling. Nature literally created it, and it's fucking stunning. So, look, I put as many waterfalls as I possibly can in all situations, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm actually contemplating making a zoo that does in fact contain a waterfall in every single habitat, because that's how much I like them. I've got a problem. I actually do. Oh my god. If any of you guys have seen any of my streams, I've actually got a waterfall command because I get that excited when I see waterfalls in games that chat now has a count of how many times I get excited over waterfalls. If you guys would be interested in checking out my streams, I will have it linked down below as per usual in the description box. All of my other socials that you can follow me on there if you are interested. I do of course have a Discord as well, which will be linked down below as per usual. That does have a Planet Zoo channel, so if you are wanting to share inspiration, get some feedback, just to have questions in general, please do not hesitate to pop on over there and I will do my best to answer, and anyone else in the Discord that can help you, I'm sure would be more than happy to help you. I was really wanting to, similar to the capuchin monkey habitat that I built, not have to have a barrier at all on this. I wanted to just have those holes in the sides of the walls that when you walk past it, you can actually see the jaguar through it. However, the jaguar is a lot more sneaky and apparently smarter than the capuchin monkeys, and I could not do that. So I did end up putting some glass barriers through that, which then stopped the jaguar from escaping. I did have a couple of escapees when the babies were born because they are extra sneaky, sir. So I do have to sadly close that in, and I do put a fair few shrubs around. Now there is a little bit glitchy because the jaguar can climb trees, and even though I have the trees sunken into the ground, sometimes I had to tweak it a little bit because they were climbing out of the habitat through trees that were fully sunken into the ground. Look, I don't question where the jaguars get their magic from, but they've got magic somehow. I was as well mildly concerned with this habitat being so steep, and I do believe the jaguars have to have water, like they need a swimming requirement. How I was going to get that in there and it not be too steep, because of course traversable area can be a little bit finicky sometimes when going into water. If you don't have a nice even decline into it, they sometimes just straight up can't get into it. Now, I could have fiddled around forever and tried to hide every single one of the tiny black dots that the water spouts out of, but ain't nobody got time for that. Who's really going to be looking that closely at my waterfall? And if it's you, why are you looking so closely at my waterfall? Just appreciate it for the waterfall that it is, you know? I think doing this little exercise that I created, which was using the entire DLC to build a small zoo, was so beneficial for me actually enjoying the animals and the scenery pieces so much more. I highly recommend, if you have got the DLC and you find yourself not really using certain parts of it, just do little things like this. It doesn't have to be a whole zoo, it can just be one single enclosure. And try and push yourself out of the comfort zone to build something that you wouldn't usually, because never in my wildest dreams would have I thought 6 to 12 months ago when I first got this game that I could have built something of this nature. Like, I'm not saying that this is flawless. It is far from flawless. I do know that there are builders out there that are 10 times better than me. But looking at how far I've actually come by just pushing myself that little bit to try and use objects in ways that I wouldn't usually, I'm actually so proud of how this has turned out. And I'm really happy with how this is all coming along. I never plan things out, not gonna lie. I am notorious for just starting and hoping for the best, which doesn't always turn out the best. But look, here we are, and I am really happy with it. I love the look of dense forest and rainforest, and that feeling of it just being like semi-damp all the time. Like the leaves are just moist. Everything moist, just for those who don't like the word. It's just, I love it. I love waterfalls. I love rainforests. This would be my happy place. I'd absolutely froth so hard on this zoo if I was here. Now, I will do a fair bit of stuff off screen where I will kind of fill in all the shrubs, do all little details in the food court areas and stuff like that I'm not going to film, as it's very repetitive and I don't think you guys would enjoy it, but you will see all of the stuff that I do to the zoo in not the next episode, but the one after, where I will take you on a walkthrough of the entire zoo, and we will say farewell to the Dorado Zoo, because it has taken a lot longer than it really should have, to be honest. It really should have taken like a month worth of videos, but it's been a while and I apologize. But hi ho, I actually got up and started to go, and this is all coming together now. So with the vines that I was placing around these little windows here, just a heads up, if they are low enough to the ground, apparently the jaguars can walk across it, which I don't think I've ever seen a jaguar walk across a vine quite that tiny. But yeah, I do have to go in and actually change some of that, because they were just straight up phasing through the barrier because there was a vine going through it. But I am almost done here. I'm just placing some little finishing touches with the enrichment items. Wow, completely blanked on that. Which, this being such a sloped enclosure, I was really kind of thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, as if you are familiar with the enrichment items, it does flatten the terrain around it, so I didn't go ham and place all of the enrichment items that I wanted to. I just placed the ones that I thought would cover the most basis. So I do just try and flatten it all out with a little bit of rocks, and I feel like it came across pretty nice. I was really happy with this waterfall area and how the jaguars can actually get into the water, as it was quite steep. I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But this little tutorial speed build is coming to an end. And I'm so happy with this. I was really enjoying just sitting and watching the jaguars play in this. But if you guys did enjoy this, please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss out when I upload next. And I'll see you next time. Bye!
Lima Crom, Damen Mali, Thomas Herr Grom, Terna Hoshi. Finase Idavonla Enerlela Moa, Farfutoker Paramimana or Kadon, Thursday Whippy for Paldu.
Jaguars e Gerlas Weaponeri.